score yet? Will it go hardest? Yes! It's looking really promising. Have a go!
Hello and welcome back to another video. Might have been ages since I've done the last one, but I finally decided to do one. And today I'm going to be reacting to my championship predictions of 2023-24. And that was all the way until the very start of the season. So I'm going to be reacting to them. It's the end of the season now. So I'm going to be reacting to them to see how I did. And yeah, I did quite good on some of them. I got the bottom two right and I got top of the table right. In terms of those, I did very well. Suppose there's a few of them I didn't do very well on. But I felt like I did alright since I made those predictions for the very start. So let's see then. Alright, so at the start, Rotherham United in 24th position at the end of the season. Which is exactly what I predicted. Boy, 27 points all season. That is terrible. That's like 18 points behind the 23rd. That is really bad. That's like the second or third for the least amount of points in the championship season, which is really bad. I did predict Rotherham to come 24th because they've been a yo-yo club, they've been going up and down a lot from League One to Championship. But boy, never have they had as bad a season since like 2016 or 2017. Yep, so another one I got right. Huddersfield Town in 23rd. Well, it wasn't really a very good season for them either. They did start off alright though. They were outside of the relegation zone. But I thought towards the end of the season, I thought they were actually very poor. They did do alright actually against top teams. But on the other ones, they're actually very poor. So 45 points in the end. Suppose not too bad for 23rd, but still. They would be hoping for a lot better than that. I looked at the odds, they were about 3-1 to get relegated. But I thought, oh, they might have a chance. I'm going to put them 23rd. Yep, it's proved to be exactly right. Huddersfield in League One. Right, Hull City, that I predicted them to come 22nd in the championship. Boy, was I wrong. That ended up being a terrible prediction in the end. He actually finished 7th at the end of that season, which was a poor prediction in the end. Boy, I was surprised about that because I checked the odds. They were also 3-1 to get relegated, but I think they had like the 4th or 5th expensive squad in the championship. Which was a real surprise. They had pretty much the most expensive squad as I saw after Leicester, Leeds and Southampton. It was a real surprise for us. Cardiff City, I also predicted them to be near the relegation zone. Based on that, they didn't actually do that bad. They actually came 12th in the table, which is mid-table, in the top half. Boy. They're actually one of the favourites to get relegated for the start of the season. Which was a real surprise for me then. Based on that last season, I literally just thought they would be second time lucky to get relegated. But they've really had a bounce back from that last season. 62 points in the end. Which is not bad based on what most people predicted before the start of that. I predicted Preston 20th in the table. Well, it looked to go completely wrong at the start of the season. They were actually in the promotion race with us and Leicester at the start of the season. But only for them to have a terrible start to the second half of the season, which caused them to wobble. In the end, they actually come 10th place. Most of it was on the start of the season because at one point they were top of the table in front of us and Leicester. Season of two halves for them. a very good first half of the season, but a very poor second half of the season for them. So I'd say like in the second half of the season, they would have come 20th. But the only reason they came 10th because they had a very good start to the season. So that sort of gave them a very good boost. 19th position, which I made in my predictions, Queen's Park Rangers. Boy, I was actually only one position away. They came 18th in the end. That was actually great escape actually, because they're in the relegation zone, even in the relegation zone, when we were halfway in the season. But I thought the first half of the season, I thought they were quite poor. Had a lot of terrible games. They were actually like very near the bottom of the table in the at the end of the first half of the season. But needed a very good bounce back in the second half of the season. They're just at 18th in the championship in the end, which is not too bad in the end. It could have been a lot worse. 18th in my predictions. I put Birmingham City in 18th. And yeah, from what I remember at the start, they actually did very well. They were in the top half of the season after something like 10 games. And then they signed Wayne Rooney, the one that used to be an England footballer. So it actually proved to be a terrible decision in the end. It actually proved crucial for their relegation. Ended up coming 22nd. They had quite a lot of bad games after that. So then they put in a new manager. And then they kept on getting bad results. And then they got a new manager. And then carried on getting some bad results. So yeah, it was actually very dumb to sack their manager. They previously done very well at the start. Then to get Wayne Rooney as their manager, that proved to be a huge mistake in the end, as they ended up getting relegated. 17th, Plymouth Argyle as my championship predictions. Our promotion rivals, I remember from the season before. So yeah, I did suppose they did alright. They actually did quite well at the start of the season. They re-signed Morgan Whittaker, which was a very good player, one of their key ones from when they were in League One. Well, they actually did alright in the end. Suppose they sort of slipped up towards the end of the season, but it still wasn't enough for them to be relegated. So they'll be having another season in the Championship, having spent their first season in the Championship in 13 years. Yeah, that was actually a very good season in the end for them, despite some having a bit of a slip up towards the end. Well, they beat Hull 1-0 on the last game of the season, which proved to be enough for them in the end. So they're going to have another season in the Championship after getting promoted with us the season before that. Yep. 16th in my Championship predictions, I put in Bristol City. Based on them, I thought they actually did very good. They had very good attacking. Suppose their defending wasn't the best. Still, 11th was still a very good finish for them. 62 points in the end, which was actually alright. They finished mid-table a lot of the time, so I suppose 11th position isn't that much of a change for them. But still, 5 places above my predictions. Those actually did alright. 15th, also another one I got right. Watford in 15th position I put in my predictions. They came 15th in reality. Got 56 points in the end, which is actually a decent season for them. That season was actually alright. Their home form was actually very good. A bit hit and miss, sometimes have some good games, sometimes have some bad games. But 15th with they actually got a 0 goal difference in the end, so it was a very average season for them, it has to be said. 14th position that I predicted was Sheffield Wednesday. Well, they actually had such a poor start to the season. Don't know why they sacked down more at the end of the season when they got promoted. They had such a poor start to the season. I can remember that. They only had like 2 points, something like that, after 10 games. Then they sacked their manager. And they got a new one, which was Rodell. Very unlike Birmingham's story when they sacked a new manager, then couldn't get out of it. Their next manager was actually very good. They eventually got them out of the relegation zone, which was a real achievement from the position they were at the start of the season. In the end, they just about avoided relegation in the end. Well, yep, it was 20th position in the end with 53 points. Haven't actually lost any of the last 5, which proved crucial in them surviving the championship this season. Another season for them in the championship. 13th in my predictions, Stoke City, who've come near the relegation zone. They ended up coming 17th in the table in the end. Wow. I was actually quite lucky for them in the end, because in the middle of the season, they were actually in very good form. They're actually in very bad form. They actually could have got relegated. Stoke City, I thought just about did enough to survive relegation. Yeah, 12th position in my championship predictions. Blackburn Rovers. I predicted them to come 12th, but they ended up coming 19th in the end. So yeah, that was a bit worse than I predicted. 53 points with a minus 14 goal difference. They actually had a player that was scoring a lot of goals, which was Sammy Smodics. I think scored over 30 goals. Yeah, based on that, I think without him, Blackburn could have got relegated. So yeah, he was the main man that saved them from getting relegated. So I see that they scored 60 goals. Like, more than half of them were scored by Sammy Smodics, which was absolutely crazy. So yeah, actually after that last game, he was the vital man that secured survival for Blackburn. In the 11th position, I predicted Millwall to be 11th. It actually came 13th in the end, which is only 2 places below my prediction. I thought that was actually a very good position to come in the end, because they were in the relegation battle back in the winter. They were actually in very bad form back then. I thought they were actually very decent towards the end of the season. They very much needed that after getting concerned about getting relegated. Back in February, there was a lot of clubs then in the relegation battle, but Millwall was very much safe in the end, 13th. 9 points from safety in the end. They have actually done very good towards the end of the season. So yeah, they definitely deserve to stay up. Oh, the scum Norwich. Boo! I predicted the scum Norwich City to finish 10th in the table. And they actually came 6th in the end. Only for them to lose 4-0 in the second leg against Leeds United. They did very well actually at the start of the season. After that, I was concerned that they were going to come top 2 and thus to be in the playoffs or something like that. They don't have their manager anymore, which used to be Janil Varka, who actually led Norwich City to 2 promotions from the Championship to the Premier League. They used to be very much a yo-yo club back then. They actually came 13th in the Championship the season before, and now they've came 6th. So now they're going to have a 3rd season in a row in the Championship. I predicted Sunderland to be 9th in my Championship predictions. Oh, they came 16th in the end. That is very poor. 16th. 56 points in the end. They actually did alright at the start of the season, but I actually thought they were actually going to come near the playoffs. They weren't near the playoffs, but they were actually in the top half of the season. Somewhere like 10th or 11th. But I did not expect them to finish 16th. I predicted them to come 9th, which in the end 7 places below where I predicted. Yeah, that was actually a real surprise. They actually ended up having a negative goal difference, which was, yeah, that was a real surprise after they finished in the playoffs last season. They actually came closer to relegation than they did towards the playoffs. Eighth position in my predictions. West Bromwich Albion. They actually did very well, actually. They were 1 point in the promotion race. One time they were in the promotion race, back in November, December. They beat us 2-0. They were actually a very good team. They came 5th in the end with 75 points. They actually did very well. 3 places above where I predicted them to come. Yeah, at the start of the season, I thought they actually did very well. I thought they slipped up a little bit towards the end of the season. Yeah, it did actually prove costly in the end. 3-1 defeat against Southampton in the second leg. Yeah. What I thought before the start of the season, it was actually a very good season to West Bromwich Albion. But still, another season in the Championship. 7th position in my predictions. Southampton. Boy, they actually did very well. It actually proved to be the Premier League clubs that were showing their quality in the Championship season. Premier League teams 1st, 3rd and 4th in the end just proves that there's a real gulf between the EFL and the Premier League right now. I thought I would actually see a mix-up, but it did really prove that the 3 Premier League teams were running away with it. Southampton came 4th in the end. Suppose that isn't too bad. I suppose they didn't really do exactly the best at the start of the season. But I thought towards Christmas they actually did very well. When Ipswich and Leeds started to slip up a bit, I thought they might have had a chance to get in top 2. But after Ipswich came back on form again, Southampton started to get some more bad results. In the end, that's ended up costing them towards the end of the season. They came 4th in the end with 87 points. And they actually ended up getting promoted to the Premier League with a 1-0 victory over Leeds United in the playoff final. So it was a very good season for them after what they got in the Premier League. It was a very good season for Southampton in the end. Bit up and down, but they're in the Premier League and that's all that matters. 6th in my Championship predictions. Swansea City. To be fair though, they didn't really have the best of seasons. 14th in the end. 57 points. Yeah, it wasn't really exactly the best season for them. 8 places below where I predicted them to come. I suppose attacking they were actually right. Suppose defensively they need to improve. So yeah. Pretty sure Swansea will have to improve next season if they're going to be back to where I predicted them to come. Sure about that. They weren't really exactly the best some of their games though. Some of the games they didn't really do their best. Some games they had some good ones. Yeah, 14th position. It was actually quite poor for them in the end. 5th in my Championship predictions, Leeds United. Boy, did they just about miss out on the Premier League. They ended up finishing 2 places where I predicted them to come. It's been the Premier League teams apart from us that have been leading the way. They ended up coming 3rd place with 90 points. Boy, they had a lot of good players. Crescencio Somerville, one of their main mans. Wilfred Nonto. Yeah, quite a lot of good players in their team. They actually spended a lot of money before the start of their season. They just about missed out. 3rd place they came in the end. Lost to Southampton by a 1-0 in the playoff final. To be fair though, they actually had a very good season based on what they got. They actually had quite a poor start to the season, but they actually did very well. Especially at the start of the second half of the season, which they didn't concede. They hardly conceded any goals out of 9 games or something like that. Just towards the end of the season, they slipped up a bit. which allowed us to overtake them. They finished third, just didn't prove to be in the end. So another season in the Championship. That was actually one of the most expensive squads. And their most expensive squad failed promotion. So it's going to be another season in the Championship for Leeds. Fourth in my Championship predictions, we're going to our club, Ipswich Town. Double promotion to the Premier League. We are Premier League, so we are Premier League. Oh man. I did not expect Ipswich to get promoted to the Premier League. When we got promoted to the Championship, surely the goal was to stay up, right? Kieran McKenna's done more than that. Second in the table, 96 points. That is absolutely incredible. Yeah, I did not expect them to get promoted. They were in League One for 4 seasons. They have 1 season in the Championship. They get promoted. Down to that man, Kieran McKenna. I did look at the odds. I thought, oh, he might have a chance maybe getting playoffs. Predicted them to come fourth. I was a bit positive about that. Surely nobody expected them to come second. Surely nobody predicted Ipswich to come second in the table. We're all punching above our weight for almost the entire season. What a season it has been for Ipswich. First time in the Premier League in 22 years, since 2002. Third position then, in my predictions. Coventry City. They actually came 9th in the end, 6 places below where I predicted them to. 64 points in the end, Coventry. They came 9th in the end of the season. I suppose it isn't too bad, but I did kind of expect them to come to the playoffs after that last season they had. Well, they were actually in bottom half of the season when it came to Christmas. But in the second half of the season, they actually did alright. They 9th in the table in the end. Tonight, I thought they were actually a very good team in the end. They're a very good attacking team. Apparently, I found out in the latest news that Ben Sheaf was possibly better than Morsey. Yeah. And they also had Ellis Sims, the player we wanted to sign. So yeah, they had a few very good players in their attack. I just felt like that start of the season just ruined it a bit. 9th of the season, I suppose, isn't too bad. But I was kind of expecting them to make playoffs though. Second in my predictions, Middlesbrough. And they actually ended up coming 8th in the end. Suppose it isn't too bad. Boy, they had a very poor start to the season. They were 1 point below Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. They actually had like 7 games and only had 1 point. They actually took a long time to get off the mark. They were in 24th with like 8 games. Till they started winning a lot of games. They were actually very up and down, Middlesbrough. But I thought they did alright towards the end of the season. But they just had a bit of slip-ups. Yeah, but yeah, that start of the season ended up costing them the playoffs in the end. He got 69 points, 4 points off the playoffs. If it only wasn't for that poor start to the season, they would have got playoffs at best. So, another season in the Championship with Middlesbrough. Finally, in first position in my predictions, yeah, it's Leicester City. I got that one right too. 97 points in the end. They just proved to be too strong for the Championship in the end. Boy, yeah, I definitely think they deserve to be champions after that season. Have them got players like Jamie Vardy, Mavididi. They've got players in there that are far too strong for the Championship. Got really surprised they were even in the Championship, to be honest. They definitely proved to be the best team in the Championship. 97 points in the end, scored 89 goals in the end. Absolutely ridiculous. Definitely Leicester City, I think they deserve it in the end. They were too strong for the Championship. They had Jamie Vardy and players such like that brought them to Premier League champions. They actually had a poor run of form towards the end of the season. So I thought maybe that could have got them towards the playoffs. But based on that start of the season, I just thought they would just never be below first. Just ended up from where they were in the end, Leicester. They're going to have another season in the Premier League, which is definitely the league they belong. Well then, that's the end of the championship predictions. I felt like I did alright on that, apart from a few of them. I predicted the top of the table and the bottom two right. Very glad about that. Ended up getting 4 of them right, which was Leicester City, Rotherham United, Huddersfield Town and Watford. Yeah, I actually did very well on those predictions, since those were actually before the very start of the season. So yeah, I felt like I did very well on those predictions. I'm going to next video I'm going to do reacting to the Premier League fixtures, which is only going to be in another 2 days' time. I'm really looking forward to it. Just thinking that first game we could get Man City at home, Liverpool, Man United. Yeah, before even the start of the season, yeah, I thought I actually did very well apart from Hull City or some of the other ones. I thought I actually did decent on those predictions. Well, see you on the next video when I react to the Premier League fixtures. There's also that Euro 2024 going on with England. I'm going to do some videos on that. But if you want me to, please like and subscribe.